I believe in me.
I believe in me.
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Stand strong. You are powerful.
Stand strong. You are inspiring.
We are fighters. We are ambitious.
We are extraordinary. We are conquerors. Simply Straight Talk, our voices will be heard.
This is Simply Straight Talk. Tune in now, you don't want to miss out. Real conversation, plenty motivation. Keep you thinking and still entertaining. Yeah, I know that you'll enjoy the mottos. Free your voice, it's your choice. Hosted by Reggie B, but you already know. And you gotta check them out and how we roll. Hey, ain't nothing off the table. Give it to you straight. Changing your mindset, talking past mistakes. You ain't gotta wait, time to take off. This is Simply Straight Talk.
I'm Melissa, and this is the Simply Straight Talk podcast, where we engage in solution-based conversations with tips on how to overcome and move past the challenges and struggles we face in life. So join in, and let's show the world you got what it takes. It's showtime. Let's hop on this train of motivation.
Hey everybody, and congratulations. We've all made it into the year 2022. And I just want to say, I hope you guys had a safe and great new year. Now we're moving into the new year. Let's go ahead and get it popping, y'all. We got to talk about, what do you want to do in the new year? And I know sometimes we look back on the previous year and we think about things maybe we didn't accomplish, maybe things we didn't get done, things we probably could have done better. But I think for 2022, I wanted to put a show out to where we can really talk about how to start the year off right. We know everybody, well, not everybody, but some people make resolutions. You know, other people out here just kind of going with the flow. But I want to give you a plan. I want to give you a guide, more to say, about how you can make 2022 a more prosperous year for you. And I'm talking about not just financially. I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, physically. I want you to have a good, successful 2022. And I'm hoping I can share some information with you that going into 2022, these are things you can start right now. These are things that you can do right now to make your 2022 a year that you will never forget. It can be a life-changing year. It can be a year of difference. It could be a year of you being better and stronger and more powerful in your own sense, in your own way, to where you fit in where you are supposed to fit in, to where your life has meaning for you, happiness for you. And that's what we want to get into today. I want to start off by telling you about 7 emotional tips, and then we're going to do 7 physical tips for 2022. How to get this year going, how to achieve your goals, how to accomplish things. And I'm not coming at you with a bunch of fluff. I'm not coming at you with a bunch of old marketing stuff. I want to give you honest truth is what I want to give you. Honesty and truth about what it's going to take for you to accomplish your goals and get the things you want. Because it's hard. And let's be honest. And I feel this way too. It's very hard to go from year to year and you feel like you're in the same place. You know, every time a new year comes around, you barely moved an inch from where you were the year before, or you're in the same place. Or for some people, they've even been set back further than where they came into the previous year. And now they're starting a new year. But there are some things that need to change in order to make a new year a truly new year that is progressive and that is successful. Now, when we talk about this stuff, I need you to understand that you're going to have to be patient, because I'm going to give you the real honest facts, because it's not easy, but you can do it. You can change your life. 2022 can be a life-changing year for you. And I want to tell you some tips on how to do it. Now, to start this conversation off, the way we're going to start off 2022 is we're going to start off with the emotional category first, and then we're going to end the show with the physical things you need to do. But I want to start off with the emotional, because if you are unable to change your emotional state, it's going to be very difficult for you to move into accomplishing any goals, any resolutions, anything you have set forth that you want to do in 2022. You are not going to be able to do it unless you change your emotional state. So I want to go over 7 things that you're going to need to do to make 2022 a year of progression, a year of success, a year of empowerment for you, male or female, teenager, whether you're in high school or college. You can do these things to change your life. Now, we're going to start off with the emotional first. And the first thing I have on the emotional list is identify your negative triggers, the things that distract you and keep you from moving forward. And I think sometimes we overlook these things. We don't really pay attention to it. You got to identify what are the things that distract you. What are the things that trigger you, make you angry to where you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing? You got a plan, you're working on something, but you stop because you're angry. Is it a person? Is it an old relationship? What is it that triggers you? Is it a job that you're working at? People? What is it that triggers you to where when you get into a situation to where you're focused and you're moving forward, as soon as that negative trigger comes up, all of a sudden you put what you was working on aside and you're not doing it anymore? You have to identify your negative triggers. You have to. You got to figure out, what are my negative triggers? What are the things that frustrate me, anger me, stress me, or put me in anxiety so bad that I stop moving forward in life? You have to identify those things. And like I said, for most people, it is relationships. Something about a relationship that has fallen apart, be it a friend, family member, boyfriend, girlfriend, a husband, a divorce. You develop a negative mentality towards certain things, and you just now feel like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. You have more of a hate and destroy, and you talk bad about people versus actually healing and getting past that. What are your negative triggers? Traumatic events from your past. There are things that have happened in your life that have a negative impact on you, that when conversations come up, a person walks in a room, it changes your whole mood. And you're no longer focused. You ever seen somebody giving a speech and that one person they don't like, the speech is going outstanding until that one person they don't like walks in the room. Their whole facial expression change, their vocal tone change, because they're unable to focus on delivering that great speech they were doing, because that one person walked in the room 30 seconds ago. It's altered everything. What are the negative things that are altering your life to where you can't focus on the things you want to accomplish and be successful? Your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. All these distractions from negative triggers are keeping you from bringing those things into reality. Second, let go, move past your emotional wounds. And I know this is such a challenge. We see so many people now, and especially with social media, people really airing out their emotional wounds, their hurt and their pain. They're doing it in memes. They're doing it in little TikTok things. Everybody is really putting it out there, how hurt they are. But at some point, you're going to have to move past your emotional wounds. That person that hurt you, that friend that betrayed you, that relationship that faltered. You know, only for so long can you sit back and say, why didn't it work out? Why didn't she love me? Why didn't he love me? Until you let go and move forward, it's going to be difficult for you to actually have success in the things that you want to do in life. And some people will say, well, you know, I'm so mad at them, I'm going to go out in the world and go back to school. I'm going to do this or do that. But they're not doing things because they're trying to better themselves. They're doing it out of revenge. And oftentimes when you do things out of revenge, it's a false sense of accomplishment. Because if that person doesn't care or doesn't give you the emotional response you expect because you feel like you accomplished something that was going to make them feel guilty, make them want you back, or make them feel like, oh, I should have stayed, or where they say certain things to you. And if you don't get that, everything you accomplished is going to feel like was a waste of time. You're just going to become more angry and more bitter. Let go and move past your emotional wounds. That man that walked out of you, that woman that walked out of you, that girlfriend or boyfriend that hurt you, that friend that betrayed you, that friend that slept with your boyfriend or slept with your girlfriend, that person that took money from you. Let go of the emotional wounds. And I know it's hard. Some of us are dealing with sexual assault, and it's difficult. But you can't let them win when they have moved on with their life and they are continuing to do the things they want to do and live a happy life, but you are living in emotional wounds. You keep sitting there rubbing that cut. You're scratching at the scab, making the wound open up because you have brought that as a normality. You have normalized that pain as a part of your life for you to feel something. That's your motivation, and it's not a good way to motivate yourself. Let go and move past your emotional wounds. Sometimes this is going to require you getting assistance from maybe a counselor or a life coach, somebody certified in therapy and emotional health to kind of help you get through it, to kind of help you talk your way out of it. Get these things off your chest with somebody who can guide you through a process to self-healing, to where you can learn to live your life for you and not depend on the pain and suffering that somebody has put in your life to make you feel alive. Number 3, make fear your ally. Oftentimes when we decide that we want to try or do something else in life, we want to do something new, we run into a situation to where fear and anxiety pops into the picture. When you start to feel fear, it makes you want to stop. It makes you hesitant. It will make you miss the boat and you got the plane ticket or the boat ticket right there in your hand. That flight to success is going to go to waste because you have missed that flight. Make fear your ally. Fear makes a person think, but don't make it where you think and overthink situations. But make fear your ally to where you think about the probabilities, and the probabilities meaning solutions that you can use to overcome problems, to overcome situations. Make fear your ally. Fear can make you more attentive. Use that. It can make you more detailed in your strategy. That is how you use fear. Use fear to make you more attentive and more detailed. But don't let fear control you. When fear controls you, it makes you hesitant. It makes you resistant. It makes you lack self-confidence. But when you make fear your ally, it just simply means I'm going to be detailed. If you're going into a war zone or you're going through a neighborhood to where you know it's violent and carjacking, you're going to actually be a little more, you're going to be attentive. You're going to be detailed about the routes you take, the time you go, what time you go in, what time you come out. That's how you use fear for survival. Being detailed, being attentive to what's going on, and using that to help you illustrate a plan to where your fear makes you create a plan that is going to help you to be successful, where you think about the roadblocks and how to get over them, not how to stop. Next, create a resource bank of positive reinforcement for you. And I can't emphasize enough for you, because a lot of us try to adopt reinforcement and positive things that other people have for them. Yes, it may work for them, but you have to find specific positive reinforcement resources that work for you. You know, when you get up in the morning, find something positive to listen to, because realize all throughout the day, you're going to encounter some negative things. Even in your journey to accomplish your goals and set your life right and do new things in 2022, you're going to have friends that doubt you, wives that's going to doubt you, husbands going to doubt you, people are going to laugh at you, they're going to think you crazy. You need to create some positive reaffirmance, positive affirmations, some positive affirmation resources. If that means going on YouTube and finding a collection of positive videos that motivate you, do that. Positive speakers. You got to learn that you got to put more positive words in your life than negative. You have to do that. And oftentimes, we don't seek out positive stuff until we feel like, oh, I'm feeling down. Let me listen to something positive. Let me find something that'll kind of lift me up. You should be doing that even if you feel positive. Find something positive to listen to. That's how you restore that energy and that positive energy in you. That's how you make yourself go further. But if you just only rely on positive motivation when you're feeling down, now you're trying to dig yourself out of a negative hole of negative emotions. That's why you fill your tank up with positive information, positive affirmations to make you stronger and help you make it through when negative stuff comes. It's important that you do that. You cannot just rely on positive stuff when all of a sudden you're feeling down. Now you got into an emotional rut and you're trying to come out. Get your mind right first. Fill your mind with positive. 3 times a day, you find 5 to 15 minutes of positive affirmations you can listen to that are specifically that you have chosen for you, that you feel motivates you. And there's so much stuff that's free online that you can use. There are books, there's audio. There's so many things you can do. There's even apps to where it sends you something positive every day. Learn to do this. Learn to seek out positive messages even when you're not looking for it, because it helps to build that up in you to where your mindset is positive and it gives you a shield against a lot of the negative things that come out. Next, start utilizing prayer or meditation. Now, for those of us who believe in God, which is your choice, whatever your belief is, I believe in God. So I do like to pray, and some of us don't. Some people like meditation. Now, I do meditation and prayer. You can meditate in a spiritual way with God, or you can meditate just for a simple being, a peace of mind. You just find some nice music and you clear your mind. Some of us like to pray to where you simply just pray and you focus on the word of God. This will help you learn to focus. A lot of people don't understand or fail to realize how often their mind will wander off when they're trying to do things, and their mind won't stay focused. Your mind is is a muscle. You got to train your mind, train your thoughts to where they're focusing. Meditation and prayer helps you to do that. Start off small. Do like maybe 2 minutes. 2 minutes of prayer or 2 minutes of meditation, to where you sit there and you just relax and just clear your mind and you just think about God. You think about his love. You find a Bible verse, you think about it, or you listen to an audio Bible for 2 minutes and you just think about it. There are spiritual meditations for God. There are spiritual meditations for peace of mind and thinking. Whatever works for you, whatever your choice is, find it. If you can find an audio Bible with different prayers, sit there and just listen and focus on the words that are being said. That's the key. You do it for 2 minutes. You sit still, you relax in a quiet environment, undisturbed. And soon you'll start to realize that your mind is incorporating the same tactic when you are working on things. It'll help you to focus better, and it gives your mind a peace time, some downtime, to where you're constantly not thinking, where you're running thoughts through your mind all day long. Next, Be willing to learn and expand your knowledge. One of the things that really just irks me about some people today is how they really just want to embrace the simple thing of just, they read one book, they get two things out of the book, and all of a sudden they self-proclaim themselves an expert. Have you ever seen somebody who will hear something on TV and all of a sudden now they're an expert and they want to debate the whole subject matter and they only know one thing? I have seen people who will debate how popcorn is made, but the only thing they know is you put it on the oven, put some butter in there, and let it pop. They don't understand the full process of getting the kernels, how the kernels are selected, how they're picked. Be willing to learn and enhance your knowledge so that you're not one of these surface learning people who learn one or two bits of information and all of a sudden they feel like they know everything it is about it. So it's really important that you learn. The more you sit and read and study and just kind of look at little things and kind of learn and develop, especially the things you're interested in, things related to your goals, your ambitions, you will start to find that you are really starting to appreciate what you're doing more. It'll help you determine the direction you want to go. And also it'll help you learn to set a path and build your strategies for what you're trying to do. Emotionally, your mind wants to learn. It wants to grasp more knowledge. Feed it. Feed it. Because you will feel a form of accomplishment as you learn and you start to understand things. You start to see things bigger than what the average person is seeing and doing. That's important. Be willing to learn and expand your knowledge. It helps you emotionally, especially with your confidence. And number 7 for emotions is don't fall into the marketing plays. You need to know the difference between a spiritual purpose-driven life and a professional personal-driven life. Now, here's the thing, because misunderstanding this will keep you in constant confusion. A purpose-driven life, people have taken that and they are trying to mix the two. And the thing about it is, if you are looking for a purpose-driven life for God, that means you are looking to serve God. If you are looking for a personal-driven life or professional personal-driven life, then you're talking about self. You're talking about what you want to do for you. You're talking about your personal passion, your professional interest versus a purpose-driven life for God. They're two separate things. And I think people get confused because they want to take their ambition of, I want to own a bar. I want to own a nightclub. I want to own a restaurant. And they're thinking, well, that's my purpose-driven life. But God's purpose and your purpose are two different things. A purpose-driven life to serve God. A lot of people feel like, well, my vision is what his purpose is for me. And that's not the case. So you have to be really clear when you hear a lot of these marketing tools that's being used, because, serving God and your personal thing is different. And I think a lot of people don't achieve their goals, don't accomplish their dreams or meet the expectations that they're expecting because they're trying to make their personal life, their personal and professional ambitions, God's ambitions for them. So when you get your spiritual confused with your personal, there's going to be a conflict there. Because somebody who wants to own a bar, they say, oh, I want to own a strip club, if their business does not suit the spiritual world or fall underneath God's law, then all of a sudden they're going to be in conflict now. That's why it's really important to understand what you're pursuing when you're looking in your life. And when you hear all of these little marketing plays on books and all this type stuff, be able to separate the difference and understand, because you got to make a choice. I'm not going to preach to you, but you got to make a choice. All right, guys, listen, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to get into the physical part of this whole thing of making 2022 better. We just discussed the emotional things you need to do in order to have a successful 2022. Things you need to do to get your life on the right track so you can accomplish your goals. So when 2022 starts rolling into 2023, you can look back and say, I nailed it. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, Simply Straight Talk family. Your host, Reggie, will be right back. So don't you dare touch that dial.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best, and I know.
We hope you're enjoying the show. As our listeners, this show is made possible because of your support. Make sure you click the subscribe button and leave a comment. Thank you for being a part of the show, and now back to your host, Reggie Maddox.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're talking about making 2022 a year of success. And we talked about the emotional things that you need to work on in order to get to the physical things when you're starting to bring things to reality. So when we talked about the emotional stuff, man, we talked about letting things go. We talked about anxiety. We talked about stress. We talked about the things that really impact a person as they're trying to move ahead in life. We talked about being willing to learn, utilizing prayer and meditation, making fear your ally, creating a resource bank of positive reinforcement, affirmations for yourself, and falling into marketing plays. But right now, I want to get into the physical. Okay, I want to get into the physical aspect of what it's going to take to make 2022 for you a year of success. Now, let's jump right into this. Number one, I need you to create a list of things you want to accomplish. A list of things that you want to accomplish. And I recommend that this list is only 3 or 4 things. That's it. Because let me tell you what happens. Normally when people make a list, they are listing from 10, 12 to 20 things that they want to do. And they're hanging up on their refrigerator. And the problem is, every time they look at that list, mentally they get overwhelmed. And eventually, as they go through the year, they start to question themselves. Are they going to be able to get it all done? One setback will make them question the entire list that they sat down and were so proud that they created this list. But the problem is you can get overwhelmed. So my suggestion is, if you're going to do a list and you're going to have 20 things, let the first list be the first 4 things you want to accomplish. Once you finish those 4 things, throw that list away and go to your second list. So basically, either type or write down 4 things on 4 separate pieces of paper with all the things you want to do, but only focus on one list at a time. One 4-item list at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people write out this list of the things they want to do, and by the time they get to number 2 or number 3, they're already overwhelmed because visually you're seeing this long list of things. And if one thing you said is going to take 3 weeks end up taking 4 months or 2 months, you find yourself wanting to give up because you're like, I'm not going to make it. That's why I say, don't worry about setting deadlines. Just focus on what you got to do step by step, but create a short list of each items, no more than 4 items, and work on that list. Once you finish that list, burn it and move on to the next one. Number 2, once you've created your list, okay, and you got the 4 items that you want to work on, begin your research and your strategy plan for making it happen. For example, if you want to pay off your debt, okay, get a copy of your credit report. Figure out how much you owe, how much you can pay each month to pay it off, how much interest you can knock off such thing as credit cards. And there are plenty of applications on the website that's free. There's also some credit resources on the internet that's free or will help you with this if you need help with it. But start creating a plan. You want to start business. Start researching the business, the products that you want to do, the type of business you want. Once you determine the type of business, start doing a market analysis. Where's a good place? Do you want a brick and mortar? Or do you want to do it from home? Who's your competition? What's your price point? Figure these things out. You want to buy a house? Figure out what you got to do to get your credit right. What you got to do to get the right down payment. Saving money. Where can you cut back to save money and add money into your bank account? Finding a better or higher paying job. What do you need to do? Do you need to go back to school? How can you go back to school? What do you want to go back to school for? This is all a part of the research and strategy plan. Now, here's the problem. Some people want to dive into their list immediately. Then they go straight to a little bit of research, and then they got the process rolling and they haven't fully developed a plan of what they're doing. And then when things start going wrong and they get overwhelmed, they say, oh, nothing's working. No. Research and plan. Do your list, research and plan those items. And now we get into number 3, which is actively begin taking steps to start the process of getting to the point of checking off the things on your list. Once you created your list, once you've done your research and you created your strategy plan, now you can actively begin taking the steps to start the process. Start implementing the things on your strategy plan in order to complete this and accomplish what you want, to knock this off your list. That's what you have to do. Don't be in such a rush. Don't take like 2 days and say, oh, I researched everything, because you're so anxious to jump in. Take your time. I'm not saying take a year now, but do your research and just really try to find out what it is you can do that when you start taking steps, you got a plan of action. Okay? And that goes back to what we talked about in the emotional list, making fear your ally. You might be a little afraid when you first start this, but like I said, use fear as your ally, meaning fear makes you more cautious, more aware, not hesitant, not resistant. It makes you more cautious to where you're paying attention to the details and steps that you're outlining in order to accomplish it. Make fear your ally when you're doing the research and strategy portion. This is then when you actively start getting into it, follow the steps. Don't be afraid of a setback. Don't be afraid of a little road bump. That's the purpose of the plan, so you can go right on over it. Okay? Next thing, be patient with the process. So many people want to rush the process. They want to jump over, certain steps. They don't want to take their time because they want it right now. I've said it 100 times before. In this country, we live in a microwave society. Everybody wants relationships in 2 minutes. They want to be best friends in 30 seconds. They want to have a rich and famous lifestyle. All of this they want off of one Instagram post, one TikTok post. Everybody wants to be viral. Everybody wants instant success. You gotta pay attention and be patient with the process. The process is going to help to educate you. It's going to be about learning. And the process is going to make you appreciate it when you accomplish and you get what you want in the end. But the biggest problem is people don't know how to be patient. They don't want to be patient. They simply want to rush the process. And then when things start going wrong and they're having to go back to a step that they skip because they was trying to rush the process, then they end up wanting to quit. And I don't want that to be you. Number 5, pay attention to your body when you're physically tired and your health begins to change from stress and anxiety. When you make this list and you've done your plan and your strategy and you're actively engaging in it, sometimes you can just go too hard. You can just do too much because you forget that you got to take a break sometime. You got to relax sometime. Now, I'm not saying you got to go out and get drunk and all that, but take in a movie, go sit in the park, do things to kind of relax and unwind. You got to give your mind some downtime and pay attention to your body. When you start getting headaches, you're starting getting backaches, you're starting to have stress and tension in your arm, you can feel it. Your body lets you know when it's like, whoa, it's like a car. You run a car for so long, it's going to run out of gas. And if you don't make sure there's coolant in the engine, it's going to overheat. There's no oil. It's going to overheat. So you got to make sure that you are taking care of your body, that you're paying attention, that you know when to sit back, take a break for a few hours or a day or two, and then get back into it. But make sure you take care of yourself. Number 6, join communities that share information related to the things you want to accomplish. If you want to pay off debt, I highly recommend that you just sort of join some of these communities. Don't pay, because there's a lot of communities out there that are absolutely free where people just share information. Like in the podcast community, there are people who willingly just share information. So there's plenty of information online. The internet provides you tons of free resources to where you can look up and you can research. I mean, you can just get tons of information from these communities. You can ask questions, get answers and ideas that you can look into. Now, just because somebody says something don't mean you ride that train to the finish line, because sometimes it'll take you off the track. But if someone says something you think it might be a good idea, do a little research. Like I said, go back to the research thing. It's like a cycle. Always research and verify before you do. So think about that. So join communities and network where people who can share and exchange knowledge and information with you, and to help you kind of grow and learn in this process with people who have been there and done that. And the one thing I want to say, which I matter of fact might add a number 8 to this, but number 7, institute a program of healthy eating and working out. Anytime you're trying to move your life forward, one of the two things that falls off is a person's their lifestyle. They're healthy eating. They don't eat healthy because they're eating on the rush. They're eating on the go. Also, they're not working out. They're not taking care of their body. When you don't work out, you don't stay in shape, you're not eating right, you're going to feel sluggish. Your body's going to feel sluggish. It's going to affect your thinking. It's going to affect your motivation. So eating right and staying healthy, number 1, makes you feel more confident about your body and about yourself. You take pride in yourself when you're working out and you feel confident. But eating healthy also helps you too, because getting the right foods in your body is going to help your body to function properly, help your mind to function properly, so you can actually be better at what you're doing. And it just makes you more conscious and aware. Number 8 is which one I'm just going to throw in right now, is the relationships. Be mindful of the relationships, because you may have to just adjust the people you hang out with, because you're trying to achieve things. You're going to want to hang out with people that are positive. You're going to hang out with people that are go-getters who have some intellectual knowledge to share about growing and accomplishing things. If you're hanging out with people who are doing the same thing they did 20 years ago, they're going to be doing the same thing 20 years from now. You're not of that mindset. You're trying to do things different. You're trying to be a better person. You want 2022 to be a year to where you can look back on and say, I'm not in the same place I was. I'm not the same person I was. I have definitely grown professionally and personally. 2022 was a year of success for me because I took care of the emotional things I needed to move me into accomplishing my goals and ambitions. I took care of the physical things, the physical acts that I needed in order to be successful. So think about that, guys. So hey, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back with the final words of today's show.
We'll be back with your host, Reggie, on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, this your man Reggie here. Are you looking for some fresh new music? Are you looking for an artist that's got that positive vibe and that positive flow, that knows how to flow lyrically? Then man, you need to check out Tone G Music with songs like Buzzin', Good Deeds, and Pick Up the Phone. Now these songs are available on Apple Music and other digital platforms. Tone G brings that positive vibe in everything he does. And the music he brings with the reggae style and that smooth lyrical flow, Oh, you know what to do. Y'all check out Tone G Music.
Are you ready for the straight truth? Reggie, what's the final word for today?
All right, people, welcome back to the final word of today's show. Man, today we talked about making 2022 a year of success. You have to make success yours. You have to create your success. But the thing you got to remember is you can't identify your success by somebody else, and nobody else can identify to you what does success mean in your life, because you define success in your life. Nobody else can do it. You define what it means for you to be successful. In this show, I have given you some tips, some things that you can do to help you be more successful in 2022. And I wanted to break down the two categories of emotional and mental, the thing that you would need to address, because that's going to impact the physical aspect of your life, the things you need to work on, the things you want to get done. And I also listed some of the physical things that you need to do, because the emotional and the physical, they all play together. In order for you to find your success, you have to sort of think of yourself as a machine. As one gear turns, it turns another. So as the emotional gears turn, you got to make sure it's turning the right way, it's turning at the right speed, so that when the physical gear is turning, everything is working together in tandem to create one beautiful product. Whatever you want to accomplish in 2022, I am sure that you definitely have some things in your life that you want to be better than what it was in 2021. Be it relationships, paying off bills, buying a home, starting a business, writing a book, whatever you want to do. I really believe that if you use the tips that I have given you and work on some of the things that I have mentioned to you in today's show, that you're definitely going to see a change and some progress in your life. I want you to have a successful 2022. I want to give you some real and honest tips for things that you can do. Your life is in your hands. You determine how successful your life is going to be. Nobody else can do it. You do it because you know what you want to do. You know the things that you want to try. So that is why I want you to please take time, really listen to this podcast. Even if you got to listen to it twice, take notes. Take the things that you know that can help you and move you forward, implement them. Think about the whole thing of making fear your ally. Think about the whole thing of simply letting go of old emotions, self-healing. Think about those things. Listen to the physical and emotional categories, the things I listed, because you deserve to be happiness. You deserve to have a better year than you had in any of the past years. So it's not too late. You don't need to give up. You don't need to feel that it's over. You're not too old. You're not too young. You're not too far behind. Make the change and implement the things that I said. Do it for you. All right. So, hey, that's today's show. Thank you for tuning in. I hope everybody is going to have a great year as we kick it off. You know what I'm saying? We're already a week into the year. So you guys stay strong. You stay up, and we will see you next Friday with another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show.
That's it for this week's episode of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Be sure to sign up to our email list at simplystraighttalk.com and follow us in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss our next episode. Wishing you a wonderful day from the Simply Straight Talk crew.
Simply Straight Talk with your host Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, Simply Straight Talk.